Hi, this is Sam Dorman. I wanted to do a quick demo of how we customized Salesforce for IAVA's policy advocacy work in DC. IAVA is Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America, and I've worked for a few years now as a consultant to them, and they've done some really pioneering work in Salesforce. So this project is to set up the system for their DC staff, hopefully create a great experience for them using it, and help support the effective work they do on behalf of the roughly 2.5 million veterans of Iraq and Afghanistan. I'll give you a really brief overview of the basic foundation, and then I want to highlight 3 specific pieces that we either pulled in or customized to create what I think is a really powerful overall system. To cover this really quickly, we got them set up with a whole configuration here where they can track everything in one place. So that includes issues, policy recommendations, individual bills, stats, testimonies, contacts on Capitol Hill, and calls and meetings that they've had. And of course also the relationships between all of those. So for instance, here on the employment page, you can see everything else that relates to employment. I won't go into all the details, but the point is that taken together, it creates a really comprehensive picture of all of the crucial information in one place. And that gets everyone working from the same page, gives people instant feedback to the data, and of course, when staff transitions, it also prevents the loss of institutional knowledge since it's all stored in the system. It's important to mention here that we put in a ton of time with IAVA staff, notably Jonathan Schleifer, Kate O'Gorman, and others, to figure out what the business logic behind the system should be. So that's not actually a technology issue at all. It's really about clarifying and articulating your business logic. And that's a really crucial piece. Without doing that, it doesn't matter how good the system is. So onto the 3 pieces I wanted to highlight. First piece to highlight is that we created a legislation integration to pull in data about specific bills that IAVA is tracking. So we had this integration built by the good folks at Exponent Partners, and it uses the Real-Time Congress API from the good folks at the Sunlight Foundation. So when IAVA wants to track a certain bill, they just have to enter the bill number, and then it goes out to Real-Time Congress and pulls in all of the details about the bill. That includes the title and the description and the status and the sponsor and even all of the co-sponsors, and they can just click to those directly. So that's tons of staff time saved typing or copying and pasting and tracking in different spreadsheets. And staff can then choose to update the info on a bill at any time, or all the bills automatically get updated on a nightly basis. So instead of having to spend all that time tracking and updating all these intricate and complex changes to bills, they just say which bills they want to track and the system does the rest. Even better, Salesforce can then watch for changes in the data and take action based on those. So for instance, when the status of the bill changes, maybe they want to send a notification email to the staff point person on the bill. Or when a co-sponsor is added to a bill, email the team so they can take the appropriate action. Basically, why waste staff time digging through this stuff when the system can do it for you? And by the way, the next step on the roadmap for this is pulling in how each legislator actually voted on the bills, and that opens up a whole lot of possibilities. So, for instance, they can say, Senator so-and-so, our records show that you're in danger of getting a C grade on our upcoming congressional report card, but a vote on this bill will raise your grade up to a B, or, so on and so forth. There's lots of possibilities that open up once you've got the data in there. So that's coming soon, and in fact, that may be something that Steve Anderson and the Salesforce Foundation help to implement and package as a tool to share with the larger community. Okay, second highlight is how we track calls and meetings back to all of these various records. So as you may know, with standard Salesforce activity history, you can only attach a call or a meeting to one specific record. But of course, IAVA might have a call with, say, some legislator's chief of staff and discuss several bills, a couple stats, a couple policy recommendations. So they'd have to pick just one of those places to attach the call and then try to remember to find it there later. Obviously not ideal. So we had Exponent Partners also build a feature here called Track a Call. So when you're having a call or a meeting, you can relate that call back to several relevant records. And then on each of those relevant pages, that call record will show up. And that keeps the system useful and comprehensive. Obviously, that's something with a zillion potential use cases in every organization. So who knows, maybe someone can make a product out of it so we can all use it. And third, I just want to mention that we installed a product called KnowWho, which is a database of members of Congress and their staff. And that saves IAVA from having to maintain a massive, constantly changing database of legislators and staffers. Instead, it gets updated nightly with all of the new info. It also provides a ton of detailed information on each member of Congress that the organization could never hope to maintain on its own. So that's just a separate paid product available on the App Exchange, but I thought it was worth highlighting since it's obviously a big win to have someone else worrying about keeping all that data in shape. Okay, I'll stop there for now. Hopefully that's a useful tour. It's a good example, I think, of pulling together several different pieces to make a really powerful system. It will, of course, continue to evolve over time. That's the normal life cycle of these things. But you can see how these tools can be really powerful for a fast-moving organization like IAVA to further their effective work. Thanks.